Today, I want to tell you about a journey that actually changed my life forever. It was a life-changing experience. So, way back 22 years ago, I lived in Cape Town in South Africa, and it was fantastic. Great life. I was in a corporate job, and I was in IT, and it was the dot-com explosion, and things were moving fast, and it was getting great, and it was exciting. I was earning more and more money, and I was getting to different jobs, and it was exciting. It really was. I wasn't unhappy. So why on earth did I move to Portugal?
AlgarveAddicts.com.
And I was thinking to myself, I used to have a great social life. I would cruise around, had cars, everything, and the restaurants in South Africa were amazing. We had a great circle of friends. It's fantastic. Had family all around me. We could go. And then threw it all away and moved to Portugal. Now, why would I do that? Cape Town look at this place. It's fantastic. There's mountains, there's sea, there's ocean. I used to surf as well, so I go around and surf, paddleboarding, windsurfing. Incredible amount of wind in Cape Town, which wasn't always amazing, but it is a physically beautiful place. And culturally, it's expanded with all the restaurants and the cafe culture. It's just really, really, it's a good place to be, and it's very, very vibrant. So one day, my cousin comes over on holiday from Portugal, and we're sitting around the braai or the barbecue, and we're chatting, and we're drinking a glass of wine, and he says, "Nick, come and manage my restaurant in Portugal. I've got too much on my plate." I was like, Forget the fact that it's a restaurant job, which I wasn't that keen about because I was coming from corporate IT into a restaurant job. Didn't really work so well for me. But forget that fact that it was a restaurant job. Basically, he gave to me on a platter, you can relocate to a new country with a job offer. We'll sort you out with relocation and all that hassle that I don't have to worry about finding out. He just knows how to do it. And I arrived there, I was thinking to myself, wow, it sounds like a really good option. But nah, crazy idea. So skip forward 1 year later, and he says to me again, he says, "Nick, come on. I've got this restaurant. I need you. I really want someone I can trust who can look after you. Portugal's an amazing place. It's growing, blah, 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 blah." All the sales spiel in the world. I mean, this was back in 2001, so it wasn't really growing, Portugal. So I thought to myself, I didn't think that hard. Just thought, what the hell? South Africa's going nowhere. Let's go. When I landed in Lisbon, at that moment, in March 2001, my life changed irrevocably. I had moved to Portugal and I loved it, and I loved the smells of the chicken and the smells of the fish, and walking down these old cobbled streets with calçada everywhere, and different people and different languages everywhere, and like this melting pot of European culture. It's not just Portuguese, there's all kinds of languages, French, Italian, German, etc. And these beautiful little villages and these incredible cliffs and hidden coves that were just, I would stroll along and just be mesmerized at these incredible vistas. And I was like astounded that Portugal was so backward. I was like, wow, South Africa is way more advanced. This is Europe, and it's supposed to be like, up there. But it wasn't. And everything was slow and like different things. Like you go to a restaurant and they give you these free bread and couvert, they call it, and like olives and stuff. And that's not free. They charge you at the end, but they give it to you. So like I'm used to getting free bread in a restaurant in South Africa. So all these like small little cultural differences, and like a half a pint of beer is something that everyone drinks. Whereas if you drink that, you're a bit of a poof in South Africa. And, you normally drink a full half liter, like a pint in England. Anyway, so all these small little differences started like adding up. And after the honeymoon period was over, I was sitting there and I was thinking, wow, this is hard. And the language was so difficult. And I was like, and it was okay. I mean, I could do my stuff. I could actually shop and I could do the basic necessities of life. But life was getting a bit difficult because I was on my own. No family, my cousin and him, like it was great. They were family, but, and I eventually left the restaurant after the first 6 months and I moved on and created my own thing. But it was like, thank God for the internet, because I would get on the internet and I'd chat to all my friends, my cousins in America and my friends back home, and it would help me keep in touch. I started to explore. I got myself a car, and the weekends I'd go out and explore these beautiful little villages. And it started to feel like I belonged, like a little bit more like home. But it was hard, and then I started to make friends with the locals, and I met the chef at my cousin's restaurant. It was fantastic. Went to his house and made sardines, and his mother-in-law was there, and it was just like sardines. She ate like 40 sardines. I couldn't believe it. And it was this massive big family event, and all the kids were there, and it was just, it felt like family, and it was so welcoming. It was a really lovely experience, and I started getting more and more involved and integrating more into Portuguese life, learning a little bit more of the language and stuff. And I had some Portuguese girlfriends and things. It was great. So I learned a little bit more about the history. I had a girlfriend from Torres Vedras up in north of Lisbon, and it was great. I went up there and I learned about the Napoleonic Wars and all that kind of stuff. So I really started absorbing more, and I started to respect Portugal a lot more because, as you know, it was one of the greatest civilizations in the 15th century. And I was intrigued as to why it was like it was now. So I got some books and I researched, and I was like, wow. Because I think in the beginning, a lot of expats just sort of dismiss Portugal. They go, oh, yeah, my country is much better than this. And they have this sort of, especially a lot of British people do that. And it's horrible. You know what I mean? You don't come here and moan about the Portuguese and then go home. You know, it's just not cool. So I'm not meaning to call out British people. A lot of other British people who love the place, and they really enhance the feeling. But I think as a duty, and I felt this a lot, as a duty, it's my duty as a foreigner to actually be good here. And it's like I'm a visitor, and I can't just run around and, you know, just pollute the place and be bad. So I felt like I had to give back, and I had to give more than I was giving if I was actually a resident in Portugal from the get-go, you know, local Portuguese citizen. So I decided to open a YouTube channel and show you Portugal. And that's what I did. I am on there. Bem-vindo a... where are we? Quinta de Canhoto. But the impact of this whole move changed my whole life, changed my career, it changed my outlook on food, it was a massive life change. And one shouldn't take this lightheartedly, although I did. Because I was young, I was single, I had no dependents, I had no property in South Africa. It was easy. I had no business of my own in South Africa. I just had a job, so I moved. It was easy. So a lot of you guys out there must have a lot of different things to deal with. And then I would suggest you get in touch with some professionals to help you, and just people like us who have actually been here before to give you some advice on how to move this. But it was a life-changing decision, and it was amazing. It was exciting, and I really learned a lot about myself. I learned a lot about myself, and I learned the value of taking risks and stepping out of your comfort zone. It's really amazing, because that's where you learn the most and where you grow the most as a human being. So if you're sitting out there in a dead-end job, you don't have to move to Portugal to make a change. You can make changes in your own life wherever you are, but I chose to move to Portugal because it was an opportunity that presented itself, and I love it here. And Portugal isn't this amazing, rosy, sort of incredible place where all your problems are solved. So do yourself a favor, do the research, come here, check it out before you come. If you want to make it your end goal to live here for a long time and to relocate and become a resident of Portugal, do it because you love it, and do it because you're excited about the adventure, because the whole journey will be excited.
AlgarveAddicts.com